Last winter in Israel was exceptionally dry. That proved to everyone, if there was anyone who still had any doubts, that if Israel wants to maintain its agricultural sector and at the same time operate a sensible water regimen, Israel cannot count on the Sea of Galilee and rainfall alone. This sad reality has created an urgent need to find alternative sources of water in significant quantities. The irony is, the water resources have always been there. Millions of cubic meters of rainwater, from floods and waste, pour unchecked into rivers, streams, and the sea. There is a way to collect this water. Keren LeIsrael, Jewish National Fund, identified this potential many years ago and began work to take advantage of it along three main routes. This year, the Keren LeIsrael, Jewish National Fund, completed construction of its 210th reservoir. These reservoirs have two main purposes: capturing floodwater and purifying sewage and wastewater. Each year, these reservoirs produce between 250 and 300 million cubic meters of water of good enough quality to irrigate most of Israel's agricultural plants. In years of drought, as we have seen recently, when water rations to agriculture had to be cut, the water from the reservoirs amounts to more than half the quantity allocated to Israel's agriculture. More than half of the reservoirs were built with the contributions and support of friends from the KKL-JNF in the world to develop Israel's water resources.
נדמיין לעצמנו איך הייתה נראית מדינת ישראל ומה מצב החקלאות היה ללא המאגרים הללו.
Nature has a place for swamps in the natural cycle of water, so the KKL-JNF decided to create wetlands that do the same work. Many purification plants do not produce water of high enough quality for agriculture or even pumping into the water table. This water often still contains contaminants, nitrates, and heavy metals. KKL-JNF has begun building wetlands, artificial swamps, where biological methods are used to purify the water without harming the environment. The water is streamed across the roots of plants growing in the wetlands. The roots grow into a kind of maze that turns into a microorganism farm. The microorganisms use the pollutants in the water as a source for energy. Work on a wetland in the Yarkon River is nearing completion. This wetland will be used to purify water from the Hod HaSharon industrial area and surrounding communities. Another wetland is under construction in the northern town of Sachnin, and soon the KKL-JNF will begin work on a wetland in Dimona in the south. Is there anyone who hasn't watched the huge quantities of water that stream down highways and city sidewalks during a rainstorm, just wasted, pouring unused into the sea? This is where the biofilter comes in. It's the crown jewel of the KKL-JNF water research. The biofilter is a small drainage pool, sometimes just 20 meters across. It can be placed in any neighborhood, next to public parks, and even on traffic islands. Rainwater streaming on the roads above is directed for purification into the pools, which look just like public gardens. Rainwater running along the roads picks up a variety of contaminants: oil, gasoline, heavy metals, and even overflow sewage. Here, too, as with the wetlands, water purification is natural and biological. After it is purified to an acceptable level, it can be streamed into existing underground aquifers. To grasp the immense potential this technology offers for water use, it's necessary to understand that in the next decade, Israel plans to double the size of its built-up urban areas. This means less open space where rainwater can find its way to the aquifers, and more highways, concrete, and sidewalks. Currently, about 200 million cubic meters of rainwater flows into the sea from coastal cities alone. If we were able to use only half of that, we could supply a third of the water needs of those cities. Knowledge exists. Financial support is also there. These projects get constant backing from JNF Australia, Canada, and the United States. All that's needed now is that someone in Israel takes up the challenge. Some mayors with vision have already expressed their willingness to join the project. More are needed. Israel has water. We must not let it go to waste.